Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Torrential Tom. I am your host, Torrential Tom, here to give you a quick update on the major nor'easter heading towards our local area, towards the northeast. So everything from the models that I showed last night seemed to be persisting into today, so I'm not going to go too in-depth on that. I went in-depth on that last night with the track of the low pressure and the potential mixing of the snow along the coast, and that'll show in my Torrential Tom Snowfall totals, which will be coming up in a few minutes. So as we always do, here is our current weather. Here is our storm. This thing is massive. We have our low pressure right now in Illinois, and it has this huge shield of precipitation along with it. A lot going on here, a lot of snow. If you look at our local radar, it's showing snow in New York City, southeast New York, northern New Jersey. If you're looking outside, it is not snowing. That is because of dry air in the atmosphere. So this is our storm right now, but our real snowmaker is still down here, which will be developing off the coast tonight and moving up the coast. And once it moves close to the Delmarva Peninsula, it's kind of just going to sit there and circle around for about 30 hours. And that is where our snow is going to fall. Because the low pressure is here, the counterclockwise rotation is going to be taking the moisture from the Atlantic Ocean for a full day or more. Here is our current watches and warnings for our local area. Pink, winter storm warnings. Dark blues, winter storm watches. And then as you move to Long Island, they are under winter storm warnings, but they are also under coastal flood advisories. They are going to be going through multiple high tide cycles as this low pressure system is sitting offshore. So they could see coastal flooding from the tide cycles. Also, they are expected to change over to rain for a period of time with this system. I would not be surprised to see coastal flooding also for most of the Sound Shore, as well as into the eastern coast of New Jersey. So something we could be seeing with this system is heavy snow bands of 1, 2, maybe 3 inches per hour. So what we saw this morning, and remember this storm is still developing. It's not even a closed low pressure system in the southeast yet. But what we saw this morning was if you look closely at the satellite, and I'll trace it out with my pen here, you have this layer of higher cloud tops here. You could kind of see as kind of a ridge or mountain kind of look to those clouds. Those are higher cloud tops. So what's happening there is we have warmer air down in the south. There's the colder Arctic air in the north. And when they battle with each other, the colder air with the warmer air aloft, you're going to end up with these higher cloud tops. In these higher cloud tops, you have more intense precipitation. This was a band of snow this morning in Virginia, dropping up to 2 inches per hour. And that is something that we are going to be looking for in our area, where those bands set up. And since the storm's not moving, how often will those bands of snow move? How many bands of those heavy precipitation will form? And that's something that we are going to have to nowcast as we're watching the storm move in. So my snowfall totals will be based on where I believe they're going to set up and where the models believe they're going to set up, but that could change as we move on in time where this storm gets closer to us. Looking at the local radar, at the same time as that satellite from the last slide, you could see you have warm air, you have sleet, you have freezing rain down here, you have rain down here, and then the darker blues is where that ridge of those high cloud tops are. So right here in this area is where we were seeing 2+ inches of snowfall per hour with that heavy snow band. So now look at Torrential Tom's snowfall totals. I know this map is a little confusing right now. I'm still working on the graphics for these maps, but we're going to trace it out with you guys so I can explain it all. So the light blues, you have light blues here in eastern Connecticut, and then you have the light blues here in Long Island. That is going to be your 6 to 11 inch range. There may be more, but that is what I'm looking at for that. That is where you're going to see some mixing, a changeover to sleet, a changeover to rain, and then definitely back to snow as the storm moves away. But that is where you're going to see the temperatures closer to 32 degrees when the snow starts falling. It's going to be that heavier heart attack type of snow, so it's going to pack in more. So I think that's going to keep your accumulations down. In the purple area, which is most of New Jersey, this includes New York City, this includes a lot of Westchester, it includes areas further north where Newburgh is, and then parts of western Connecticut. Those areas, you are going to be looking at 12 to 18 inches plus. 12 to 18 inches plus. And then the maroon colors, I have 3 spots here where I believe some heavy snow bands may take place. So the bullseye for this storm, right here, a little patch in Connecticut. There's a large patch in northern New Jersey through Rockland County and up into parts of areas north of Westchester. And then you have a little spot down here in central New Jersey where I think the changeover is possibly going to maybe stop right here along the edge of the coast. So just to the west of that, in Jersey, you're going to see potentially a heavy band of snow where the cold air and the warm air are battling each other. So in these darker colors, these maroon color shading, you can expect to see 18 to 24 inches plus of snow. Potentially areas could see more than 2 feet of snow in these areas, depending on where those heavy snow bands take place and depending how long they persist. So to put this snowstorm into perspective, this is, for New York City at least, the largest snowstorm potentially in the past five years. That was Winter Storm Jonas 5 years ago. Central Park saw 27.5 inches. JFK was 30.5. LaGuardia was 27 inches. I don't think New York City will get that much, but I'm looking at least a foot for New York City. So this will be the largest snowstorm in New York City in 5 years. So we go to our torrential meter, our torrential Tom meter, and we have minimal effects here on the right side in the green colors, and then we have more severe effects as you go along the meter. I am giving this snowstorm a torrential on the torrential meter. Very, very significant impacts with this snowstorm, as we're going to have blizzard conditions, we're going to have coastal flooding, we're going to have heavy snow, and as I mentioned, we're going to have feet of snow in the area. So in summary, winter storm warning for the entire local area. Snow will be starting at a more steadier pace between 6 to 8 p.m. for northern New Jersey, and the snow starting between 8 to 10 p.m. for southeast New York City, and a little later as you move into Long Island, Connecticut, as the snow is moving in from the southwest. That is not to say you may see a couple flurries, a couple light snow showers before then, but the more steadier stuff will be coming at that time. As the night progresses, the snow will pick up in pace. When you wake up early in the morning tomorrow, expect to see a couple inches on the ground, but I would not risk going to work if you have to go to work, because in the morning, afternoon, and through tomorrow evening is when this snowstorm is going to bear its teeth on us and give us our heavier bands of snowfall. So chances of a foot or more are growing, that's for sure. Coastal flooding, as I mentioned, blizzard conditions possible as we can see wind gusts along the coast of 50 to 60 miles per hour. As you move a little further inland, you can see anywhere between 30 to 40 miles per hour. So I would not be surprised to maybe see some blizzard warnings going up as this storm grows and forms off the coast and moves up the coast. Blizzard conditions, you have to have at least 3 hours of 35 plus mile per hour winds or wind gusts, and you need to have 3 hours straight of whiteout conditions. So as I say every episode, follow me on Twitter, Torrential Tom. I provide updates, maybe some live videos of the storm tomorrow on Twitter, YouTube. I'll post it on one of the two forums. In our next Torrential Tom episode, we'll be discussing the pattern coming up. And also, drop me a question in the comments section. We'll do a little Q&A. If you have any question about the weather, any part of the weather, anything that's interested you, and you want to know an explanation of why something happens, just drop your question, and I will be happy to answer it in the next episode. So please like this video, subscribe, and stick around for tomorrow and into Tuesday morning when I'm going to be posting some more updates. Please stay safe out there, stay warm, and enjoy the snow.